Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Today, we're diving into the Chicagoland residential real estate market. And joining us is our returning guest, Laura Catrambone-Gerace, a seasoned real estate professional with Coldwell Banker Stratford Place, specializing in helping individuals and families find their perfect homes. Laura, welcome back.
Hey, great to be back. How you doing?
Awesome. Fantastic. Laura, the Chicagoland residential real estate market is dynamic. What are some of the key trends you're seeing right now that potential home buyers should be aware of?
You know, it's funny. Some people are pretty apprehensive, not sure, how our world is going to be and do they want to buy a house yet and what are interest rates going to do and all that kind of stuff. And then, the inventory is still really low. So, it's making it kind of a tricky spring market. I could tell you that.
Absolutely. Well, it's definitely, it seems like moving faster than ever. And in fact, speaking of moving faster than ever, navigating the home buying process can be overwhelming, especially for first-time home buyers. What advice do you have for those that are looking to purchase a home?
The first thing I would say is definitely meet with a lender. Know exactly what your payments are going to be based on real estate taxes, how much you put down, that sort of thing. And then also understand how much more or less your payment would be by going up 10,000, going down 10,000. So you just understand that part of it. I think that it's overwhelming to think about a price and not really understand what that means as a payment. Even when I'm buying a car, I'm like, I don't care how much the car costs. Tell me what I'm paying a month. Because then I understand, can I afford it or can't I? Because here's the other thing. People will also they will get approved for a price and they may not even know what the mortgage payment is going to be. And they may not want to spend that much or vice versa.
Yeah, Laura. So for folks that are looking to move into the Chicagoland area from maybe another metro area or region, what are some of the most important things that you think that they need to know about this market?
I think you have to understand, especially if you're looking in Chicago, understand the transportation, what lines get you where and that sort of thing. And as far as the real estate market, also understand, maybe you want to venture a little bit out of the city and go to a suburb that's easily accessible to the city, but you're still, going into a suburb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very interesting. And what are the common misconceptions that you think folks have when they are navigating the real estate process, whether it's on the buyers or seller side?
Oh, I think one of the misconceptions for sure is people think they can do it on their own, and you really can't. You may think you can. You may think like you're saving money if you're not using an agent, but you're really not. Agents know how much the property should be selling for, on both whether you're a seller or you're a buyer. So I do think that's key. You still need an agent.
Couldn't agree more. And we've talked about that so many times. I'm chatting with Laura Catrambone-Gerace from Coldwell Banker Stratford Place. And Laura truly is the subject matter expert on all things real estate in the Chicagoland area in particular, but really a great resource for all of our listeners all over the place. And we know that interest rates and property values continue to fluctuate. So how would you advise clients on making sound financial decisions? You mentioned the lender already. Any other words of wisdom on that topic?
So I think something to think about is when you're buying a house or a piece of property, and yes, the interest rates do fluctuate. And I think sometimes we have too many, you think too much about the interest rate. You really should be thinking about the property because you can refinance at any time. So waiting to buy a piece of property and waiting for the interest rates to go down is not really such a great idea because while you're waiting, those properties are appreciating and they're appreciating at a faster rate than that interest rate is going to affect you. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Well, that's words of wisdom right there. Laura, I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you and your team. How can they do so?
So Laura Catrambone-Gerace, my cell phone, 708-212-4905. And my email, splaura@aol.com.
Well, Laura, you are such a resource, and I'd be remiss if we didn't end this segment with talking about the same thing that I bring up every time we bring you on. You've been at this for quite a while. In fact, you've got that AOL address, splaura@aol.com. But Laura, just as we come to a conclusion, how long have you been in this line of work?
Almost 40 years.
Almost 40 years. So let me just end this in 30 seconds or less. What is the one thing that remains the same from the time that you started to now in 2025 in the real estate community?
You need an agent.
I love that answer. Yeah, and that doesn't change. Absolutely. Okay, well, I love that bit of advice, and we know that definitely technology has changed, and there's been so many other things as well. But again, you want to talk to Laura Catrambone-Gerace, Coldwell Banker, Stratford Place, for all of your real estate needs. splaura@aol.com, and we'll have Laura back on, of course, to continue to talk about this ever-changing market. But the one thing remains constant: you do need an agent. We've got to squeeze in a quick break here on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Don't touch that dial. You are listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.